Hi everybody, this is Book S Reviews, and today I'm going to be doing a review on the new McFarlane Toys Avatar Fire and Ash Jake Sully and Neytiri figures. So before we take a look at Neytiri, let's go ahead and take a look at Jake Sully and all of his accessories. So first up, he comes with a set of fisted hands. Both him and Neytiri come with their avatar bases, but I forgot to take them out of the packages. So both of these do come with bases, I just forgot to take them out of the packages when I opened them. Up next, he comes with the left open hand and right pointing hand. Up next, he comes with accessory holding hands. Up next, he comes with his knife and axe. And I have to say, I really like the sculpt and paintwork on the knife. It's got some texturing there on the handle and a dry brushing of light gray over top of the blade. That looks really good. He's got a really tight grip on that in the left hand. Now his right hand, if you put the gun in it, then it's going to stretch it out. You won't be able to get him to hold the axe properly at all. You can see how it just slides down. So that is unfortunate. I definitely wish he would have came with a non-trigger finger hand so he could actually properly hold that axe, and you wouldn't stretch it out. He does come with a lot of hands, but he doesn't come with a hand just for holding the axe there. He has storage for the knife on the sheath on his chest there, but just like with all of the Avatar figures that have knives, the back of the sheath is open, so I guarantee this is probably going to fall out while I'm doing this review. You know, I've had such a problem with this falling out constantly. That does bother me. Up next, he comes with his rifle, and this has some really awesome sculpt detail to it. I love the dry brushing of silver over top of it, and then you get some brown detailing here on the stock. Whenever I have this rifle in his hand, I do display it with the left open hand on, because I don't want to stretch out that accessory holding hand. It's really tight, and the thumb is molded to the pointer finger on mine. So I'd have to actually cut the thumb to get him to hold that properly, so I'd rather just display him like that. And finally, he comes with an alternate angry head sculpt. And man, I love that we've been getting angry head sculpts in this wave. You know, we didn't get any alternate heads on the previous Avatar figures, and I'm so glad they finally included some alternate heads. I love how expressive this is. You get all of his tribal paint there. It looks like some sort of bone decorations on the top of his head there. Now, the hair is detailed really, really well. The dreaded hair is cast in dark brown and has this kind of like grayish brown color painted over top of it. And then all of the feathers in his hair are sculpted and printed on. And I love the way they've printed those. Those kind of look realistic. I just love the paint detail to that. That looks fantastic. McFarlane Toys did a very awesome job on both of these head sculpts. You know, this one looks just as nice. Still has the really awesome detailing there in the hair with the feathers. But I think I'm going to leave him displayed with this angry head sculpt. It just looks really cool. So now, let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of the figure. This figure is just so detailed it's not funny. You get a bunch of paint, lots of sculpt detail, and a surprising amount of articulation. So I love the sculpt detail to the this thing right here on his chest. I love the little textures you get. It looks like it's actually made out of like animal hide. That looks really good. You get some varying tones over that. You get his tribal paint, which looks really good. I feel like they should have printed some of that on the edge, you know, kind of make it fade into his skin tone. But that still looks pretty good nonetheless. This figure actually does have some slight blacklight detailing. You can see it lighting up right there on his arms. I don't see anything here on his torso, but you get some more of that detailing down his arms and a little bit on his face. It might be more apparent on this one. Yeah, I don't think it's... Yeah, you can see it right there on the edge of his nose. So I love that they put the black light paint on the figures. I think that looks really nice. I mean, I probably won't have him under black lights, but I do think it's cool that they added that detailing. It really pops under black lights. This is just one of the lights from the McFarlane Black Lights figure. This would probably pop more if I had a bigger one to put on him. Even the wrappings on his arms are detailed really nicely. They're textured, and they have a dry brushing of light brown that brings the detailing out really well. You can actually see the threading here on this left bicep. I'm not sure what material his loincloth is supposed to be made out of. Kind of looks like seaweed. It's done in dark brown and has some light brown paint over top of it. And even just the pattern on his skin is painted really nicely. That looks really good. He has an articulated tail. Would have been cool if there was bendy wire in it, but at least it is articulated. So yeah, I think this figure is fantastic, and the articulation really surprised me. So now, let's go ahead and go over that. So he has a ball-jointed head. It can't quite look up. That's really the only spot that's hindered here because of the hair. The hair is really heavy. It's a very stiff plastic. I do wish it would have been done in a more pliable plastic. So he can't look up that far. He can look down all the way and move his head side to side. He has shoulders that can move all the way out. He has some really good range of motion there. He has butterfly joints that spin all the way around, swivel at the bicep that can move side to side, double jointed elbows that can actually bend in all the way. On this figure, he actually has wrist swivels. So like your regular Marvel Legends, which is a bit weird. I'm used to McFarlane doing ball joints, but they move up and down. I should be moving this one, the one that doesn't have the big weapon in it. It can move up and down and spin all the way around. Here is where I think the articulation is best. He has a ball-jointed diaphragm and waist that can move back that far, and he can actually crunch forward a really decent amount. You do get some gappage back here, but man, he actually has some really good range of motion there. And I think it's because it's more hollow than on like a DC Multiverse figure. So it's like hollow and then has a post that goes up in it. So I think that's why you get more range of motion here than on a DC Multiverse figure. It can move all the way around and side to side up here and at the waist. He has hips that can do a complete split. He can kick forward pretty far, back that far, a really nice thigh swivel, a tail that can spin all the way around, double jointed knees that can move back that far, ankles that can move down all the way, up all the way, spin all the way around, and toe articulation that can move up that far. So yeah, the articulation on these Avatar figures is superb, and I'd go so far as to say this is actually better articulated than a DC Multiverse figure. So now, let's go ahead and take a look at Neytiri and her accessories. So first up, Neytiri comes with a right-fisted hand and left accessory holding hand. Up next, she comes with her knife. It's meant to be held in this left accessory holding hand, and it is very detailed. The wrapping on the handle is detailed really nicely. It's got a dark brown wash, and even the blade itself has this, I can't tell if it's black or just a really dark green wash to it. But man, that is really detailed. Just like with Jake, she has storage for this, but it's completely open here on the back. So just like with him, I'm sure this is going to drop out at some point during the course of the review. It doesn't even really want to go in. So just like Jake, that does bug me. Up next, she comes with a tight gripping right accessory holding hand and a wider one here for holding the bow. I guess this was the hand the knife was meant to go in because it's really tight. But yeah, I did not do that. Up next, she comes with her wide right accessory holding hand for holding the bow and a left hand like she's shooting an arrow. And I definitely wish she would have came with an arrow, I actually started using an arrow from the NECA Foot Soldier, the blue one. It's kind of short, but, it actually looks pretty decent. I wish I would have got that out for this review. Now, this bow we've seen used on the previous Neytiri figure. It's still detailed really nicely. Not my favorite bow to leave her displayed with, though. Up next, she comes with this more traditional-looking bow. And this is the one that I'm going to leave displayed with the figure. I definitely wish it would have had real string on it, though. You can see that the arrow is in the pouch right here, but it's not removable. So that does bother me. I mean, it looks really cool, but that does bother me. Up next, you get her standard head sculpt. And this is detailed really nicely. I love the print detail, like for the eyes right there. I think that really stands out. The pattern on her face looks really good. I'm really glad they sculpted the hair differently on this one. On the previous Neytiri figure, her hair, like her head was straight like this, and her hair was like straight out. That really bothered me. So I'm glad they fixed this standard head sculpt to have normal looking hair. And finally, she comes with an alternate angry head sculpt. And I'm so glad that we finally got an angry head sculpt for Neytiri. I think that was long overdue. And man, that looks really good. The way they painted the detailing on the fangs there, that looks really good. This is just a very detailed head sculpt. The braids are detailed really nicely, but it looks like these pieces should be painted right because they're like beads in her hair. I feel like those should have been painted. Aside from that, though, this head sculpt looks incredible, and just like with Jake, I'm going to be leaving her displayed with this angry head sculpt. So now, let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of the figure. So just like with Jake, she has a very detailed outfit. I'm not sure what this is supposed to be, but it's a neck piece that goes down into a bra, or I guess that's what you'd call it. It's detailed pretty nicely, though. It's got this wash. I can't tell what color that is. It might be like a dark red. But it's got a wash over top of it that brings all of the detailing out really nicely. Just like with Jake, she has blacklight detailing. It's more on the inside of her arm. You can see it lighting up right there. She has a really nice pattern between her brows and on the cheeks there. You can see that lighting up. That looks really good. That really stands out on her face. And then you get the detailing right there. I don't think there's any on her torso. Oh, it looks like on her midsection, there's some slight detailing. And then here on the arms. So I do think the black light looks the best on her. I really like how that looks. The pattern on her skin is done very well. I love how that light blue fades into the dark blue. The way McFarlane Toys painted that looks really good. I like how that fades. That looks really good. Her bracer here is done in brown and then has this orangish paint over top of it. This is textured really nicely and looks like some dark green paint over that light green paint. I'm just amazed at how much paint variation we get on this. This version of Neytiri comes with chaps, and it's really weird to see her legs being covered because I don't think her legs have ever been covered in the series. But yeah, she has these, and they're detailed very well. It looks like it's made out of animal hide. You get some little textures on there, and you get a really nice, looks like a dry brushing of dark brown. I also like how the loincloth fades from that kind of, what color is that, like green, into the purple, and then it also has some blue detailing on it. The belt has the same sort of orange paint over the brown, just like the bracer right here. As you can see, the knife did fall out like I said it would. She has an articulated tail like Jake. You can see that she actually has some material wrapped around her tail. I do wish they would have made these joints in brown, because you can see that on the inside these pins are blue and that really stands out, just like it stands out back here. It looks fine on the outside of her legs because you can see the openings all the way down to her ankles. So that looks fine on the outside, but on the inside and on the back that does look kind of funny. And then not really any detailing on the feet. They do use black pins. That's also kind of odd. But just like with Jake, the articulation on her pleasantly surprised me. So this is probably going to fall out while I'm articulating her, so let's go ahead and take that out of her hand. So now, let's go ahead and go over her articulation. So she has a head that can't quite look up because of her hair, just like with Jake. She can look down all the way. She can move her head side to side. She has shoulders that can move all the way out, spin all the way around very nicely, swivel at the bicep, double jointed elbows that can bend in all the way, wrists that move up and down and spin all the way around, a ball jointed diaphragm and waist that can move back very, very far. As you can see, like I said with Jake, it's hollow up in there, so it allows for way more articulation. She can crunch forward a really nice bit. That is some really good articulation there. You do get a ton of gappage back here. You can actually see more of how that joint is. So it is a bit gappy, but I mean, she has some great articulation. She can also move all the way around. Oops. Okay. She can move all the way around really nicely, side to side up here and down here at the waist. She has hips pretty crunchy, but she can do a complete split. She can kick forward really far, back all the way. She has a thigh swivel. It feels a little bit hindered. You can hear it clicking there. Double jointed knees that can move back that far. Ankles that can move down all the way, up all the way, spin all the way around, and toe articulation that can move up all the way. So now, let's do some size comparisons. So first up here they are next to Jake Sully from the first movie. I actually just got this one a few days back at Ross. I never actually saw this one anywhere. As you can see, I added real string to his bow, and that looks a lot better. That's what I'm definitely going to do with Neytiri's bow there. Here they are next to the previous Way of Water movie versions of themselves. As I said, I really didn't like the way Neytiri's hair was sculpted on this figure, and I think I like Jake's hair better this way. Throughout the movies, he's grown it out. I think this Jake is probably my favorite design in the series. As for Neytiri, I'm not sure which one I like more. I don't have the first film one. I really like that design from the first film. But this might be a close second, this new Fire and Ash design. And finally, here they are next to Tonawari. So overall, if you see these, then I would definitely recommend picking them up. I don't think enough people are talking about these figures, honestly. I think McFarlane Toys are really firing on all gears with these figures. You get tons of accessories, great sculpt and paint, and the articulation is superb. The only place that the articulation is really hindered is in the head, looking up, but that's just because of the way the hair is sculpted. Other than that, the articulation is incredible, and like I said, I think it rivals DC Multiverse figures. So yeah, I think a lot of people are sleeping on these, and they shouldn't be. These are some of my favorite McFarlane figures of the year, and I'm not just saying that, they really are. So yeah, I absolutely love these figures, and I'm looking forward to reviewing Varang and the Platinum Quaritch. I actually have both of those. Those, if all goes well, those will probably be Friday's video. So yeah, if you see any of these Avatar figures, definitely pick them up. I think McFarlane Toys did a superb job on them. So, that's my review. If you like this review, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.